Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Hey everybody. It's Tuesday. I'm loving my hair today. Where's the people? All right. Hey, is it pronounced Naisha? Hey Naisha. It's Tuesday. Y'all know we do on Tuesdays. Hey, it's V.A. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Tuesday. Y'all know we do on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we Homegirl Huddle. So, hey, Homegirl, and welcome to my huddle. This is a safe space where we have sacred conversation about all things self-love, self-care, and self-mastery as it pertains to being a woman. Before we dive into this juicy topic, tell me how you are. Not what you're doing, but how you're being. How do you feel? Tell me in the comments how you feel. How do you feel? I feel amazing. I feel incredible. I'm loving my hair tonight. It is about a week old, but as it grows out, I'm starting to really like it when it's older because it's bigger. Hopefully, I can stick to my goal and let my hair grow out. My goal is to let it grow out until 40. And then at 40, my goal is to chop it all off, wear a short blonde look, and see how that goes. So we'll see. We'll see if I make it to 40 with this fro. But for now, especially tonight, I'm loving it. Tonight, we are talking about the S word. Not the S word you think. Another S word. As always, I want to preface this Homegirl Huddle with, if the panties fit, keep them on. If they do not, by all means, take them off. What does that mean? What that means is I'm going to share some things that I believe, some things that have worked for me, some things that is working for my clients. If anything works for you, take it, apply it to your life. If it doesn't, leave it here and we'll all be okay. So if the panties fit, keep them on. If they do not, by all means, take them off. Let's dive into this juicy topic, like I said, about the S word. I wholeheartedly believe, especially the more I get to know myself, the more and more I work with women, I wholeheartedly believe that there is no such thing as self-sabotage at all. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. You're not self-sabotaging. Essentially, what you're doing is you have a need and you are doing the best you can to get that need met, depending on what your goals are. If your goal is conflicting with your subconscious needs or your basic human needs, guess what's going to happen? 10 times out of 10, you are going to meet the need that you have above achieving that goal. And so because we speak the human language, we call it self-sabotage. But nobody wakes up in the morning and sets out to not do the thing that they say they're going to do, to not make enough money, to ruin their relationships, to go on diet after diet and attempt repeatedly to lose weight. Nobody's doing that. So if you believe you're self-sabotaging, what I want you to do is I want you to ball that belief up, ball it up in a really tight way, throw it in the nearest trash can, because you are not self-sabotaging. You're not self-sabotaging. You're simply, hey Kiki, you're simply trying to meet your needs. And until you understand how to meet your needs while achieving the goals that you have for yourself, then time after time, you're not going to meet the goal. And to me, that isn't self-sabotage. You're doing what we all are trying to do, and that's to meet our needs. So I want you to tell me in the comments if you have ever experienced something. Maybe it's something you're working on right now. You're really excited about it initially, and then somewhere along the way you lose your excitement, or you start on Monday, by the time you get to Friday you're done attempting whatever the thing is. So tell me if you have a goal that you've had for a really long time that you're having a hard time meeting the goal or sticking to the goal. And this can be around anything. It could be around fitness, it could be around relationships, it could be around business, finances. So do you have a goal that you've repeatedly tried to meet, but for some reason or another, you're having a hard time sticking to the goal? I know, like I said a few moments ago, because we speak the human language, we typically think that means we're self-sabotaging when we repeatedly try to do something that we are unsuccessful at doing, or when we know what we should be doing and time again, we're not doing it. So tell me if you have a goal that you've been working on for a while, that it just seems like no matter what you do, you just can't seem to meet that particular goal. Again, you're not self-sabotaging. Chances are you have a need that you're trying to meet, and you have a goal that you're trying to reach, but there's a competing need. There's something that you're wanting to do, but you're having a hard time getting it done. So tell me in the comments if you're experiencing anything like that. And then I'm going to keep going. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but every single one of us, not just me, not just you, every single person walking the face of this earth, we have, according to Tony Robbins, 6 basic human needs. And when those needs are not met, we will go through all manner of whatever to try to meet those needs. So I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I want you to tell me based on what I share with you, which basic human need you think is the top of the top for you. So let's go through them, right? So there's variety. So variety is basically a need for excitement or adventure, or you have a need to break a routine, right? There is significance, means you have a need to feel worthy, to feel valued, to feel important. You have a need for loving connection. I can tell y'all already, loving connection is the top of the top of the top for me. This is at the tip top for me. So you have a need for loving connection. So that's building relationships and belonging to something, feeling emotionally connected to things. Then there's growth. Like you have a need for challenge and progression and evolution. You need to constantly be growing, changing, evolving. Then there's a need for contribution. So giving and making an impact beyond yourself. So you want to basically, a lot of times when you have a need for contribution, you want to leave your mark on this earth. When your physical body leaves here, you want to know that you did something that makes a difference. So tell me in the comments if that's you. Like, not if that's you, but tell me in the comments which one of these, based on what I said, is at the top of the top for you. And the reason why this is important, because let's just say you have a need for variety, which means you have a need for fun, adventure, and to break a routine. Time and time again, chances are, if you are trying to be consistent, that's the buzzword these days. I want to work out more consistently. I want to eat more mindfully, more consistently. I want to be more disciplined. Well, discipline, it requires you to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. If by chance your need for variety is more important to you than your desire to be disciplined, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go to the gym for 3 days, and then on the 3rd day, miraculously, some kind of way, you're going to quote unquote self-sabotage. Again, you're not self-sabotaging. You know what you're trying to do? You're trying to meet that need for discipline. Meet that need for variety. You're trying to meet that need for variety. And so what you have to get really good at is you have to get really good at meeting your needs while accomplishing your goals. Because if you don't meet the need, I've already said this before, you're going to repeatedly do whatever it takes. If it means not going to the gym, if it means eating a taco when you know you should be focusing on lean meat, clean vegetables, complex carbs. You're going to do whatever it takes to meet that need for variety. So when you're wanting to achieve a goal, what you have to do is you have to get really, 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 really good at meeting your need while accomplishing the goal. So we'll keep going through these. I want to give you some examples of how this looks in real time. So if you have a need for, we'll use the weight loss example since I've already been using that. And I know many of you at least started following me because you want the body to be bodying. So let's use let's use the example of weight loss. So I'm going to say this part again. If you have a need and you're not meeting that basic human need, I don't care what the goal is, time and time again, you'll think you're self-sabotaging, but you are just trying to get your need met. You're just trying to get your need met. I know I've said that already like 11 times, but I'm going to keep saying it because I want in the moments when you are beating yourself up because you didn't do what you said you would, or you're on the umpteenth time of going on a diet and it's not working, it's not because you can't do it. It's not because you're self-sabotaging. It's simply because you have a need and you haven't figured out exactly how to meet that need. And so what I want to help you to do is get really good at meeting the need, because you don't want to deny or suppress or dismiss your needs. That doesn't feel good either. I want to support you and get really good at meeting the need on top of accomplishing your goals. In 2024, we are living in a both and reality, which means you can have your needs met and you can accomplish the goals that you're wanting to accomplish. So let's go back to the example of losing weight. So what it looks like to have a conflicting need and a conflicting desire when you're trying to lose weight is it could look like this. So let's just say your need is for variety, right? So you have a need for variety and you're going to the gym 5 days a week. Well, what you want to do is figure out how you can continue going to the gym and meet that need for variety. So it may look like, okay, I'm going to work out 5 days a week, but I'm not going to do my workout 5 days a week at the gym. Maybe you work out at the gym 3 days a week. And then maybe the other 2 days a week, you work out outdoors or at the park. Maybe you work out by yourself at the gym 3 days a week. And then maybe 2 of the other days, you're working out in a class or you're working out with me from home. You get what I'm saying? So if you have a need for variety, you want to figure out, how, like I said, how to do both. How do I meet this need for variety? And then how do I also accomplish my goal of losing weight? It's the same thing with food. So if you're someone who has a need for variety and change and adventure, it's not going to serve you very well to try to meal prep one meal for the whole week. That's going to get very boring for you. And guess what you're going to do? They say, we don't say, they say you're going to self-sabotage. You're going to meet that need for variety. So why not learn, or why not take the time to figure out how to meet your need for variety and lose weight and release weight and get fit and be consistent at the gym and consistently eat mindfully. So if we're focusing on eating, then if you're meal prepping, instead of meal prepping and eating the same thing 5 days a week, well then how about trying to meal prep 3 different meals? So that way you can have choices. You can have variety in the things that you're eating throughout the week. It could also look like maybe you do meal prep the same thing for the entire week. And then on Friday, you take yourself out to eat and you eat something that you enjoy. That allows you to, again, meet that need for variety on top of do the things that's going to support you in losing the weight that you want to lose. Let's keep going. Let's say you have a need for significance. Again, the need for significance is you want to feel valued. You want to feel worthy. You want to feel important. You want to feel like you matter. So many times we're trying to get that value and that worthiness and that mattering outside of us. It can come from outside of you, but it definitely has to come from within you. And so if you're on a weight release journey, if you're on a self-love journey, how do you meet the need for significance and still accomplish your goal? What you want to do is get really good at celebrating yourself. So many times when we are trying to accomplish a goal, we don't celebrate ourselves. We wait until we've lost the 30 pounds. We wait until we're 90 days into an exercise regimen before we start celebrating ourselves. You don't want to wait. You want to give yourself permission to celebrate yourself every step of the way. And this doesn't have to be anything big. It can be as simple as, okay, I lost my first 5 pounds. What you don't want to do, especially in terms of weight loss, is you don't want to celebrate yourself with food. That's a slippery slope. So we don't want to do that. But you lose 5 pounds. Buy yourself some new workout clothes. That is making yourself feel significant. So celebrate yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Give yourself a shout out. Like if most of us ladies have group text messages, send a text message to your group telling them, y'all, I lost 5 pounds. Y'all, I've, been to the gym all 5 days this week. Whatever it is, be a big deal to yourself. If you have a need for significance, that is permission to have main character energy. You cannot play about you. You cannot play about you. And so give yourself permission to have main character energy. Give yourself permission to celebrate yourself. You're not waiting for someone else to be proud of you. Be proud of yourself. And that is what's going to support you in meeting that need for significance as you're losing weight. Again, you are not self-sabotaging. You simply have a conflicting need and desire. And so in order to resolve that conflict, you have to get really good at meeting your needs and accomplishing your goals. So let's keep going. So love and connection. Let's just say you have a need for love and connection. And so if you have a need for love and connection, what this means is you have a need for emotional connection. You have a need for depth of connection, for relationships and belonging. You want to feel like you are a part of something. So how do you meet your need for love and connection and still support yourself in losing the weight that you're wanting to lose? How do you do that? Let's talk about it. What you have to do is you have to create community around what you're doing. And so you could do this in very simple, easy ways. You are not the person to go to the gym alone by yourself. That is grounds for not what we say, but what they say is self-sabotage. Because as soon as you feel alone, as soon as you feel disconnected, guess what you're going to do? Yes, by creating community. You guess what you're going to do? You are going to figure out a way, exactly, go to workout classes. You have to figure out a way to meet that need. And so exactly what it says, Gemini Optimist, exactly what Gemini Optimist said. You have to figure out a way to create community around your exercise, fitness, and self-love routine. So when you go to the gym, look and see if the gym that you go to has classes. And instead of always working out by yourself, go to a class. Talk to people in the class. Exchange numbers with people in the class. If you have friends who have similar exercise, self-love, wellness goals as you, make one of your friends your accountability partner. Because if you don't, you're going to do what they say, not what we say. It's self-sabotage. Essentially, what you're doing is you're just trying to meet your need. And so you have to, again, get really good at meeting your needs and accomplishing your goals, or else, based on the English language, you're going to feel like you're self-sabotaging. So that's how you want to do it, to meet your need for love and connection. Even if like you have a partner or kids, like that's another way to build connection. So many moms, like after you have a baby, you are wanting to lose your baby weight. Put your baby in a stroller. Walk with your baby. Like that's a means of connecting and bonding, and also doing what you need to do for yourself. When you're cooking your meals, when you're meal prepping, bring your kids in the kitchen with you. Like they need to learn how to take care of themselves too. This is more ways to support you in building or supporting your need for love and connection. Let's keep going. Growth. If you are growth mindset, I think for me, in terms of the basic human needs, growth and love and connection is like at the top of the top for me. Like if those needs are not being met, I'm not a very pleasant person. I'm not a very pleasant person. My challenge is nutrition, meaning when life happens, my appetite changes and decreases, or stress overwhelms my body. So, okay, Gemini optimist, really yours too. So, okay, if your biggest challenge is nutrition, and when life happens, your appetite changes and decreases. I haven't gotten to, there's also a need for certainty, and I don't think I intended to talk about that tonight, but since you're bringing it up, we may as well get into it. There's also a need for certainty, which means for some of us, we feel safe when things are always happening the same way. But obviously, life's, that's just how it goes. And so for you, it's going to be really important that when you are in those seasons where life is happening and you feel stressed or you feel overwhelmed, it's going to be really, really important for you to figure out ways to support yourself in feeling safe, to support yourself in still having some semblance of a routine, so that when you're stressing out, you're not automatically, like you said, like your appetite changes or your appetite is decreasing. A lot of times, like you said, it is because of stress, but if you figure out ways to support yourself in grounding and feeling grounded when you're feeling stressed, you're less likely to have the same kind of like fight or flight response, if that makes sense. So it sounds like you have a need for certainty. Like it feels really good when life is happening in the same way. And so your question becomes, how do I meet this need for certainty and obviously be an adult, be a human, and still allow myself to take care of myself? Tell me if that makes sense to you. Hey, Lachey. Tell me if that makes sense to you. But so yeah, moving forward, in terms of growth. So you have a need for growth, which means you need to be continuously changing, growing, evolving. And so how do you meet that need for progress while you are trying to accomplish your goal? It's simple. What you want to do is you want to track your progress. Why are you tracking your progress? Because when you're tracking what you're doing, it really allows you to see that, oh, I started working out 60 days ago and I'm still doing it. Like I've worked out, I've moved my body for 60 days straight. That's a really good way to, great, I'm happy it makes sense. That's a really good way for you to support yourself in meeting that need for growth, because you can see that, oh, I'm actually doing this. Weighing yourself. That's another way to really support yourself in meeting your need for growth. Measuring yourself. Taking, inside of my body lover community, we take sweaty selfies every day. Well, guess what? If you don't take a sweaty selfie, what does that mean? That means that you have not shown up for yourself, because if you don't do it, you can't take the sweaty selfie. So these are simple, easy ways to show yourself that you're progressing. What's today? Tuesday? I think it was yesterday actually. Yes, and make a photo grid. That's perfect. And you can keep it. I plugged in one of my old phones the other day, just feeling nostalgic. And so I'm like looking through the pictures, and I found my vision board from I found my vision board from 2018, and I was literally in tears because every single thing I put on that vision board, like, it's happened like a couple of years ago, but it's happened. And so that helps me to see that, oh, this is working. I am growing, and that feels really good to me because, like I said a few minutes ago, I think if I'm putting the needs in order for me, loving connection is number one. Like, I'm such a romantic. I'm such a romantic. I'm from Louisiana. I'm such a romantic. And my second need is for growth. And so by looking at that vision board and seeing that, dang, in 2018, my vision was to leave my job. And I had a certain income goal, and it's just like, damn, I did that years ago. So that really is proving to me and showing me that I really am growing. I really am doing what I set out to do. We should do a vision board online. Inbox me. Let's talk about it. So yeah, you have to make sure you are meeting your needs and accomplishing your goals. It's not one or the other. You want to be doing both. So again, they say it's self-sabotage. For us, it's not self-sabotage. It's literally, there's a conflict. There's needs that you have that you are going to meet no matter what. Even if you do it in a roundabout way, you're still going to meet the needs. And then you have these goals that you want to accomplish. So like I said, you want to figure out how to meet the need and how to accomplish the goal. It's a both and. You want to focus on both at the same time. So we talked about growth. And then contribution. So if you have a need for contribution, it's going to be really, really important for you to give. You want to pour into other people. A very simple way to meet your need for contribution in terms of if you're someone who's focusing on, hey, honey, if you're someone who's focusing on losing weight, loving yourself better, all the things that we do it's okay. Thanks for hopping on. If you're someone who has that need, you want to focus on, how do I share what I'm doing with somebody else? How do you do that? And so it's simple. We even talked about, if you have a need, for loving connection, inviting somebody to the gym with you. So an accountability partner, you can totally do that same thing, and it could also meet the need for contribution, except you're focusing on something different. So if you were inviting someone to the gym in terms of loving connection, then you would be focusing on, like sharing and connecting with that person around doing something you love. But if you are inviting someone to the gym with you in terms of contribution, it would be more like a mentee mentor type of a situation. So maybe you have a friend that wants to lose weight and you've already lost 20 pounds. So you're showing her how to do what you've already done. Or she needs, like, you're really solid in some things that you're doing, and then she needs help. So what you're doing is you're pouring into her. You're helping her with her journey. And believe it or not, that's going to help you to stay accountable because you're meeting the needs that you have. So many of us as women have a need for contribution because we're conditioned at an early age to pour into other people, to love on other people, to take care of other people. And it's kind of just what we're conditioned to do. But sometimes we do it to our detriment. And you want to, again, figure out a way, yes, to pour into other people, love on other people, take care of the people you love, nurture the people you love, but not at the expense of doing what you need to do for yourself. And so it's, again, how do I nurture, pour into, show up for other people, but also take care of the things that I need to do for myself. An example of what they say is self-sabotage. Yes, finding balance. An example of what they say is self-sabotage is, for example, if you have this need for contribution, then that could easily look like, okay, you know that you said you are going to the gym. Your gym time is from 5 to 6 every day. Well, your friend calls you and like, girl, this is happening and I need to talk. You can totally support your friend by talking to your friend and loving on her. But you could also say, friend, if it's okay, I'm going to the gym. Can I call? Is it an emergency? Can I call you after I leave the gym? Because a lot of times what we'll do is our friend needs us. So we sit in the car for an hour, loving on, talking to, showing up for our friend. And then what happens? Oh, I don't feel like working out now. I'm tired. You're drained because you're emotionally spent because you've poured into your friend for an hour. You have to get really good at meeting your needs, or else it's going to always feel like you're self-sabotaging. And I'm going to say this unless I have some type of awakening that makes me believe something different. I'm going to keep saying this. You are... Yes, that's really good, Gemini optimist, to ask yourself, what is your capacity? Because a lot of times we don't think about ourselves. We just think, oh, this person needs me. Let me just do what this person is asking me to do. And it's just like you have to find the middle ground. You have to get really good at meeting your need and showing up for yourself. One of my best friends, we have... this thing between us where if one of us needs to vent or we need to share emotionally, that's the first thing we ask. I ask, do you have space to support me? And I don't take it personal. If she says, no, I don't have space, well, I have a village. So many times people say, oh, it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village, period. If you are a human being, you should have a community of support. So that, for example, if your friend is me or if your friend is Gemini optimist and we don't have the space to support you, you're not taking it personal because it's not personal. Y'all know we are living in interesting times. So much is happening so often. It's just like, my goodness. So, people are living their own lives. And sometimes that's just it. We just don't have the capacity to support people we love. And it's not because we don't love them. It's just because we don't have the capacity. And so you want to take that in mind when you are asking for support from other people. But you also want to take that in mind when you are supporting other people. Do you have the space? Can you afford to sit on the phone for an hour and talk to your friend about whatever it is that's happening? And if you can afford to do it, if she is not in a space where it's an absolute emergency, you first put your oxygen mask on first. And going to the gym is putting your oxygen mask on first. It is important. And a lot of times, because we haven't made our needs important, it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in doing things that don't support us in meeting our needs. I'm at 0, so I've pushed away from others and their needs because I usually never consider myself. That's great advice. Yes, you have to consider yourself. You have to consider yourself. And especially for women, it's not always easy initially because, like I said, we're taught that what makes us good women is to show up for other people, to nurture other people. I don't have kids by choice, but most of you have kids. And so you're pouring into your kids. If you have a spouse, you're pouring into your spouse. If you have a career or a business, you're pouring into that. And it's just like, if you're not careful or if you're not intentional, like Lachey said, you empty the cup. You should never be giving what's inside the cup. What's inside of the cup is for you. It's not for anybody else. So many resources and careers out there. I've had quite a lot of stuff. It's a work in progress. My friends are not my therapist. My trainer is not my friend, etc. Yeah, that is important too. Is to, like I said, that's why it's important to have a community. Like, no one person, I don't care who it is, no one human being can be your everything, and that's a topic for a different day. Even if it's a partner, like even if it's your husband, they can't be everything to you. That's too much weight for anybody to carry. Like I said, if you are a human being, you need a village. You need people on your team to help you to win at the game of life. Like, you need it. It is not even optional. It's essential. Like, you need it. You need it. And you have to be really important about having it. Because if you don't, like I said it, y'all have heard me say this before. When you don't tell the truth, it comes out sideways. Same thing with your needs. When you're not intentional and purposeful about meeting your needs, you meet them in jacked up ways. Y'all know jacked up is not my word. In fucked up ways. I think fuck is like one of my most favorite words. But you meet them in roundabout ways. And then you think, oh, I'm self-sabotaging. Then you feel bad. Then you are beating yourself up. Then you become overly critical. And it's just like around and around and around and around and around we go. You want to get off the roller coaster of setting a goal, getting excited about it, starting it, and then never accomplishing it. And then it's just like every Monday you start a diet. Every Monday you're going to the gym. If you don't get good, and I'm saying it that way on purpose, if you don't get good at meeting your needs, never gonna lose the weight. You can, if you have a need, I think it was Gemini Optimist who said he had a need for certainty. Well, I assume that's what the need was based on what he said. But if you have a need for certainty and you're not meeting that need for certainty, you're never gonna lose the weight. A lot of times, the need for certainty is about safety. So if for whatever reason, and if it's a trauma related reason, I'm sending you love. But if your weight has supported you in feeling safe, the moment you start losing weight, guess what you're gonna feel? Unsafe. So if you're gonna lose the weight and keep it off, it is not optional. You have to figure out a way to support that part of you. Can you pin the needs? I can say them if you want to type them. Tell me if you want to type them, and then I'll repeat them, and then you can type it out, and then I'll pin it. I don't know that I can type and say them at the same time. But if you want to do that, we can do that, and then I'll pin it. Okay, great. Give me a second. So if you have a need for certainty, and that supports you in feeling safe, and then you go to start losing weight, and then you don't feel safe after you start trying to lose the weight, guess what you're gonna do? Put the weight back on, because that is how you've learned to meet your need. If you've learned to meet your need for love and connection by eating chocolate every day, the moment you decide you're going on a diet and you decide to stop eating chocolate, it's not going to work, because there is no reality where you're not going to have your needs met. So you have to get really good at meeting them in a way that aligns with your goals, the things that you're wanting to the things that you are wanting to accomplish. Otherwise, you're just going to keep doing the same thing. And you've been doing the same thing for a while, so you know how it goes. It's time to get off the roller coaster. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to take you off. You have to give yourself permission, and you have to be brave enough and intentional enough and consistent enough to get yourself off of the roller coaster. And that looks like learning how to meet your needs. It doesn't require you to be perfect, but it absolutely requires you to do it. Okay, Gemini Optimist, you ready? So, according to, this is not my material, but according to Tony Robbins, we all have 6 basic human needs. And what I'm sharing is, if you don't meet those needs, whatever goal you have is null and void. from the beginning. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure from the beginning, because if it conflicts with whatever, if the needs are not being met when you are attempting to accomplish the goal, it's not happening. It is not happening. And most of the time, we're told that that's self-sabotage, but it's not. It's just you meeting your needs in the best way that you know how. So first one is certainty. So if you have, let me not stop saying if. We all have 6 basic human needs. But if certainty is a really, really important one, meaning it's at the top of the top for you, then you have a need to feel safe, secure, and in control. So a lot of people who like routine and likes to do things the same way all the time, you have a need for certainty. And so you have to have some type of structure. If you are wanting to start your own business, like, you have to have some type of structure if you're going to be successful at meeting that need. So first need is certainty. So it's the need to feel safe, secure, and in control. Next need is variety. That means you have a need for excitement, adventure, and breaking free from normal routine. You like to have fun. You like life to feel free, you know? Third, significance. You have a need for significance. So you want to feel worthy. You want to feel valued. You want to feel important. You have fourth, loving connection. So you have a need for building relationships. You want emotional connection. You want to feel like you belong to something. And then fifth is growth. So you have a need for challenge and evolving. Like, you need to be progressing. And then the last is contribution. You have a need to give and make an impact beyond yourself. You want to feel like, a lot of times when we have a need for contribution, we're the people who want to leave a legacy. After we have transitioned from this physical body, we want to leave some part of ourselves here. We want to know that we've contributed to making other people better in some capacity. So if you like to volunteer, if you like me, like you're a coach, if you like to pour into other people, teacher, therapist, a friend who's always willing to be available, then you have a need for contribution. All right. Thank you, Gemini Optimist. Let's pin it. Bam. Ask and you receive. Just that simple. So yeah, if you have, not if, I keep saying if, we all, me, Gemini Optimist, Lachey, whoever else is in this Homegirl Huddle, we all have these 6 basic human needs. However, depending on who we are individually, we have them at a different priority. So one may be more important than the other, but we all have these needs. I think I said a few moments ago, like, for me, loving connection is the most important to me. Then probably growth would be second. And so because I know loving connection is very important for me, I'm very intentional about who I share my energy, my time, and my space with, because I need to feel connected to people. So people who are emotionally unavailable, or people who don't like depth and touchy-feely, all those sensing, perceiving type of things, they're not my people. Like, you can be, in my universe, but you probably are not, like, very close to me, because I like depth. Because depth and emotions makes me feel close and connected. And so that, I know that I need that. So I keep people around me who are very comfortable with feeling and expressing and all the things that comes with loving connection. And so for you, I asked this in the beginning, you have to get clear on how the needs stack up for you. So thanks again to Gemini Optimist. I've pinned them, so they're there. You want to get really clear on how the needs stack up to you. So what's at the top of your list? What's at the bottom of your list? And then you want to get clear on how you actually start to meet these needs. So I'll give you some examples. If you have a need for certainty, you need routine. You need to excuse me, build a life that supports you in feeling safe. You want to have relationships that feel safe. You need consistency. Like, I wouldn't say, maybe certainty is like 3 or 4 for me. I know for a fact when I'm relating to people in any kind of way, because I have a huge need for certainty, it feels better when the people in my life are consistent. And if you are not consistent, at least communicate and let me know when something is changing. That typically feels good. But then once I've built a relationship with people, I kind of know what your character is, how you move. So I kind of know, what to expect. So if you have a need for certainty, you want to create some consistency in your life. You want to create some routine. And there's many different ways to do that. But you want to start thinking about, how can I create more consistency? How can I support myself in feeling more safe? If variety is at the top of the top for you, you want to get really good at exposing yourself to different things. So many times, my clients that has a need for variety, I usually, one of the first things I start off doing with them is challenging them to do something new every day. And that's very simple. It's not like you don't have to necessarily spend money to do something new every day. It's fairly simple, but you have to get really good at meeting that need for variety by exposing yourself to different things. Travel is going to be that could be something that can support you in meeting the need for variety. But you want to constantly be introducing new things and switching it up. So if you're doing something new every day, it can be as simple as, okay, I never, wear my hair up. So I'm going to put my hair in a ponytail today. It sounds simple, but I promise you, you're going to feel so taken care of because you're meeting that need that you have. If you have a need for contribution, you want to make sure you're giving. So you could volunteer. You can do something that allows you to be a mentor to a little girl. You can simply get on social media and share things. Maybe you read a book and you like the way you like the book, or the book changed your life, and so you want to share it. Share what's working for you in a way that is contributing in making somebody else's life better. If you have a need for significance, you probably, have a lot of main character energy. I just have to say it that way. And so it's allowing yourself to be the main character, like allowing yourself to show up and own the room. A lot of people, this is my opinion, a lot of people, I believe, who are celebrities have a need for significance. Like they want to feel important. Or you may find people who are really like status driven. So they have to have a certain type of car. They have to live in a certain house that's a certain square footage, and maybe they have to have a certain level of education. A lot of times that's us, meeting our need for significance. So how can you within yourself support yourself in feeling worthy and valuable and significant? And it doesn't always have to come from external things. I'm just giving you an example of how that looks. And so significance could also look like prioritizing yourself. Like I just finished talking to one of my friends. Like, listen, the one thing that I do not play about is my sleep. I don't care. If I'm going to be rich, sleep has to be included in the wealth, because otherwise it's not going to happen. Like sleep is important to me. And so you have to make the things that you need for yourself a priority. That's going to support you in feeling significant. I think I missed one. What did I miss? Growth. So if you have a need for growth, then you want to spend a lot of time investing in your personal development. Like I hate to say it this way, but it is the best way that I can say it. I am literally a personal development fan, junkie. Like I love learning about how to become better and how to support other people in being better. Like I said, growth is probably my second most important need. And I know these things about myself. So I'm always going to be buying a new book. I'm always going to be enrolling in a course. Like I literally am a student of the school of life. Every day that I have breath in my body, I'm going to be learning something because that's important to me. For someone else, that may be at the bottom of the list. That doesn't make me right or wrong. Neither does it make them right or wrong. It just means that in terms of our 6 basic human needs, they're prioritized differently. Again, this is why it's important for you to know what's most important for you, because as soon as you go to set a goal, you have to think essentially what it means to set a goal and to reach a goal, to achieve a goal, is you're literally becoming a different version of yourself. And so it's going to take doing something that you've never done. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be a goal. Like you would already have it. But because you don't already have it, you're going to have to do something different than what you typically do. You're literally going to have to become a different version of yourself to achieve that goal. And so in order for you to achieve it, you also have to meet your needs. And so you have to get really good at meeting those needs. This is why it's important to know what the needs are. Because again, if you go to lose weight and you have a need for certainty and then you lose 20 pounds and now all of a sudden you cannot figure out why all of a sudden you don't want to go to the gym, chances are you're hitting on that need for safety. And it's probably because that weight, especially from a metaphysical perspective, has become a level of safety for you. And so it's going to be important to, okay, now that I'm 20 pounds lighter and I've been using this weight as protection, how do I still meet my need for certainty? How do I still meet my need for safety and still lose this weight? That's the question. It's always a both and question. So I know I gave you a lot of information. I know I gave you a lot of gems. That's what we do here. But like I always say, all of this is for naught. Like I can get on here and talk until I'm blue in the face. Don't ever let anybody else tell you knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power, especially if you don't know how to apply it to your life. And so it is, unless you just like hanging out with me on Tuesdays, it's totally not going to serve you just listening to what I'm saying. Maybe you feel good, listening to what I'm saying, but you have to apply it. It's the only way to change your life. It's the only way to become the person the woman that you want to become, is you have to take what I'm saying and go apply it. And so let's talk about how you actually apply this. What I want you to do is, hopefully you've written down, or at least you remember at the very least what your most important basic human need is. At least, hopefully you've at least done that. So if you know what your most important need is, then I want you to think of the thing that you're working on. So what is it that you're wanting to accomplish in this season of your life? And then I want you to make a list of, how do I meet this need, whatever it is, based on the 6 that I gave you. How do I meet this need and support myself in losing the weight, and support myself in making more money, and support myself in having healthy relationships, and support myself in loving myself? Emphasis on and. How do I meet this need and do the thing that I'm wanting to do? And then try it on for size. See how it works. And so I'll give this is an example. So if you're wanting to lose weight, I gave so many examples already, but if you're wanting to lose weight, a lot of times the weight is, we put on the weight as a means of safety for whatever reason. So how do I support myself in feeling safe and losing this weight? How do I support myself in feeling certain, like having a routine and losing the weight? It's an and question, not an or question. They say, again, it's self-sabotage, but literally it's just a conflicting need and desire. How you resolve the conflict is you figure out what's the happy medium, the happy middle between meeting your need and accomplishing the goal. So how do I do both? And this is, for a lot of us, this is new. Like, you are just learning how to do this. So I say all the time, it's about progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect at this. I use this analogy with my clients all the time. At one point, you were just learning how to walk. You were wobbling, falling all over yourself at some point. Imagine if you fell down one time and you decided, I'm never going to try walking again. Imagine being your big age and not walking. Just crawling, scooting, and sliding all around the floor. How would that work out? Not very well. It wouldn't work out very well. And so a lot of times we're walkers, like we're beginners. We're just learning how to do something and we have the expectation that we should be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. That's why it's called a practice. It's because you're practicing it. You're practicing getting better at it each time you try. And you may fall down sometimes, just like when you were a baby. Fall down, dust yourself off, maybe have some people around you that's going to cheer you on and encourage you to get back up, but get back up and try it again. You didn't gain the weight in one attempt. You didn't learn how to emotionally spin in one attempt. You didn't have one relationship with someone who was emotionally unavailable. A lot of these things we're well rehearsed at. We'll say it that way. Like we've done it time and time again. And so give yourself space to learn how to meet your needs and accomplish your goals. And even if you fall down, the most important part is reminding yourself that you're not self-sabotaging. Nobody wakes up and says, today I'm just going to make sure I don't go to the gym, even though I said I was. Nobody wakes up and says that. Nobody wakes up and says, today I'm going to make sure I fuck up all my relationships. Like, nobody is saying that. Like, nobody says, I'm going to make sure I empty my bank account. Nobody's saying that. You're doing that not because you're a bad person, not because you're wrong, not because you're never going to get better at it. You're simply doing it because you're just trying to meet those needs. And whatever it is that you repeatedly do, that's the way that you've learned how to meet the needs. But our brains are designed to be rewired. Our brains are designed to be reprogrammed. You just got to repetition. Repetition plus emotion. That is what helps you to reprogram your subconscious mind. So you got to do it and feel good about it and encourage yourself and keep going. And then eventually what you do becomes who you are. You don't wake up in the morning and think about brushing your teeth. It's just a part of what you do. You don't get at one point you did get in your car and you had to say, okay, let me put the keys in the ignition. Let me straighten my rear view. You still do all of those things, but you're not consciously thinking of doing them. Why? You did it so many times that it's second nature. It's the same thing with this. It's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. You may feel like a fish out of water at first, but eventually you'll get your flow. And you just have to trust the process. So until next week, what I want you to focus on is getting clear on, I would encourage you to take all 6 of them and then prioritize them, which is from most important to least important. And then once you get that, think about the goal that you're really, really wanting to accomplish. I would say before the year is over. Think about what that goal is, and then think about what need is going to be most important to meet in order for you to accomplish that goal. And then, again, you have that both and conversation. How do I meet this need and accomplish this goal? And here's the thing about questions. Whenever you ask a question, it's always getting answered. It depends, however, on the question that you're asking. So make sure you're asking empowering questions. No, why can't I never, and I'm saying this on purpose, why can I never lose weight? That's the answer you're going to get. Why can't you never lose weight? Why are bad things always happening to me? That's the answer that you're going to get. Why is it so hard to make money? That's the answer that you're going to get. I tell y'all all the time, one of my favorite prayers is 2 words. Show me. Show me. Show me how to lose this weight by the end of the year. Show me how to lose 10 pounds in the next, we'll say 3 weeks. Show me how to have healthier relationships. Show me how to make X amount of money before the year is out. Show me how to prioritize myself better. I promise you, I know that prayer works because it's my go-to. I know it works. So all you have to do is show me, and then what you want the universe, God, source, spirit, however you see it, what do you want to be shown? And then wait for the evidence because it's gonna appear. And then take inspired action. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. Not always easy, but simple. So I appreciate you, as always, for sharing this time and this space with me. As always, before you close your eyes tonight, definitely consider the most self-loving thing you can do. Whatever that is, go do it, enjoy it. It can be as simple or as intricate as you choose for it to be, but whatever it is, be unapologetic about it. If you are not following me, I cannot imagine why. If you're not following me, don't walk, run, hit the follow button, follow me now. And I will see you next Tuesday for sure. Like I always say, until next time, move your body, love yourself, know what you want, go get it, go give it. Next week, bring a homegirl, tell a homegirl, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, homegirls.